Well, welcome to the Stone Roadie podcast. It's the one you don't want to miss. It stars Craig Reed, the Stone Roadie, and Griff, the rocket scientist. Let's not forget Kathy Godsey and all the old friends that come along. Lord, we'll be talking Skynyrd and leaving you with a song.
Good morning, everybody. Time to rise and shine. I'm Shelby Barrett, the Stoned for the Stoned Roadie Show, and it's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
It's the Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 189, Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz, episode 69. And I know I said last week, beer, sin, sex, wine. This is episode 69, but yeah, that was a little fumble because we didn't do one on Wednesday, and I got miscongratulated. So yeah, this is Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz 189, Wake and Bake 69, and it's right on the YouTube. It's formulated correctly, but yeah, I just don't want to have anybody be confused. And okay, action. All right, people, our fellow Earthlings. Yeah, it's Monday morning. Yeah, it's Wake and Bake. It's Wake and Bake on Monday morning, and I guess y'all are going back to work here on Monday morning, and those of you are, happy motoring on your way to work, and yeah. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stoned Roadie, sometimes known as the world's most famous roadie ever since the dinosaurs roamed the face of the earth. And this is my co-host, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. And hey, Griff, I don't have nothing to talk about rather than I just been jibber-jabbering and mumbling and jumbling like Joe Biden. So why don't you just take it away from here there, buddy?
Speaking of Joe Biden, you seen that that meme on Facebook where somebody asked him, "Hey, Joe, Snuggies or Pampers?" And he goes, "Depends." They're eating him alive on Facebook. I mean, he must not have Facebook because he would kill himself if he did, because they're eating him alive on Facebook. I was just showing Craig. I actually got this from Joe Crimp's wife, and it says a man reorders his identical Walmart shopping list from 2022 for 45 items. So back in 2022, he paid for 44 items of the exact same thing, $126. And now in 2024, the exact same items were $414. That's what the guy looks like right there. So, yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and I was just telling Griff that, I had my computer hacked here last week, and I didn't want to talk too much about it on the last podcast, but yeah, I had to shut down all my bank accounts and stuff. So I had to get my computer all redone, and I wanted to make sure they didn't have any more of my information. I still really don't know, but it's going to be a couple more days before I put everything back together. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about it yet. Maybe they're still watching me. I don't know. All they had was my IP address. My computer guy said they can't do much with that. But well, we'll see. But
well, you just have to do like Gene said, and then just go out in the yard and dig up a jar that you got buried out there with money in it, and you'll be all right, Craig.
Oh, I just got to go. When I write these checks for these people, I'm gonna send them out here as soon as I get my bank accounts back in order. I gotta just take enough money to pay off these all these donation people, and then Yeah, just leave them sit and dry for a while.
Yeah, you might
So,
start. You might start
they
looking
said
like.
to take all your money out of the bank anyway. So when the banks run out, that you'll have some cash on hand. But it'll be like Venezuela. As soon as they do that, money won't be worth anything anyway. So
No, you're going to be screwed no matter how you look at it. But we'll all be screwed together, except the people that had money are going to lose everything they had, they worked hard for, and the broke people are going to be going, ha 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 ha. It pays not to work hard. Yeah, I tell you
Right.
what, as hard as I saved, and then if they do that to me, somebody's going to get hurt.
Boy, it sure is easy to get scammed though. All I was trying to do was get my Amazon subscription for my Prime Video re-upped, and I got all. I thought I had Amazon. I had the wrong people, and they had me. They had my thing locked, and then they had me convinced that they did it because somebody had hacked my Amazon accounts and were using them all over, and then they checked my stuff and they said, "Oh, I was totally hacked," and yeah, it was crazy, yeah. But
Well, see, there's no accountability for these people that do that. They don't. They got a free license to go around and steal because under this liberal administration, nobody cares what anybody does to anybody. You can go steal a lady's purse, and get away with it. It won't do anything. You can beat the hell out of a cop. Nobody's going to do anything. But they go chase Trump down for hiring a hooker.
well, what's messed up is I tried to get a hold of Amazon security team to tell them, hey, this is the number I talked to, and this is the guy's badge number, this is the guy's name, this is the guy he hooked me up with, and the whole deal, and they don't care.
No, they don't care.
They don't care. I mean,
Nah.
there's people trying to get a hold of their customer service department and calling these other numbers and getting scammed, and they don't care.
No, they don't
Yeah.
care a bit
So,
about it.
yeah.
I even one time this guy tried to hack me, and I'm not going to say what denomination he is, but they have a lot of 7-Elevens and stuff. And,
Yeah, the same. That's the same domination.
Yeah. Yeah. So this guy, I go, hey man, let me just off the record ask you. I go, how do you sleep at night, man? I go, it's like, just tell me. I know that I said, you scamming people like this, it don't bother you? I said, just like, tell me, man, and he's like, no, it don't bother me. It don't bother me a bit. He goes, you get over that after you start making a lot of money. And I said, well, I mean, that's just rude. Some of the things they're doing, just rude.
Well, those 7-Elevens and stuff, they have those scammers that they put right over the top of the keyboard.
Yeah, the skimmers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skimmers, yeah, and that's pretty prevalent, I guess.
Well, they used to pull all the coupons out of the newspapers, and then they would take the beer, the expired beer and then they would buy it back from these people that delivered the beer, and they'd resell it because they'd give them that just pretty much for nothing, and they would resell the expired beer. And then the coolers are always hot. Yeah, just like that, your screensaver with that Reed 7-Eleven, that Reed store, that's one of them. Yeah, that's one of those marts. Dot on the spot. But anyway, today, Craig, yeah, we got a lot of great comments and feedback on Sally Arnold. A lot of people really like Sally Arnold.
Boy, they sure did. Yeah, they
yeah.
really did, man. They go, wow, now what a great guest she was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've even got a little something that I was going to read out of the book. That's it's the Rolling Stones, but it reminds me of Lynyrd Skynyrd, and she was saying how, and everybody heard it, that Lynyrd Skynyrd was way crazier than the Rolling Stones and the Who put together. She even said that, we got that here. But yeah, there's something that is in her book. You guys got to get this book. It's really good. But there's a part in here that I wanted to read out of the book real quick. It's not that long. And it talks about Keith Richards. It says, following the Stafford gig in May, Keith was involved in a car accident on the MI, which is probably like a state highway. The first I heard about it was when one of the roadies banged on my hotel door in London, and with poor little Marlon, which is Keith Richards' son, Marlon Richards, in tow. So the roadie banged on the door, and he had Marlon, Keith's son, with him, and he said, I was told what happened while Marlon was in flood of tears. So I guess the roadie was telling what happened to Keith while his son was there. He says, I started asking, where's Dad at? Keith had been driving in his Bentley back to London with a bunch of people in the car, including Freddie Sessler, his drug dealer. So he had his drug dealer in the car with him. When Keith saw the police car behind him, he chucked a load of coke out of the window. Even so, the police found a big, chunky silver necklace in the car with several ornaments on it, including a silver tube for snorting coke and heroin. Naturally, the police found traces of drugs in Keith ended up in prison at Newport Pagnell. Since we didn't know when he would be released, I was responsible for Marlon for the next day or so. So she babysat Keith Richards' son. So Sally, man, she gets around, He knew me well enough, and we had fun together playing with his dinosaurs and learning how to read. So, she used to teach Keith Richards' son how to read and played with dinosaurs. At one point, Marlon asked me, will the birds be all right? Will they help? Will they be able to get to sleep? Will the birds be all right? Will they be able to get to sleep? Puzzled by the question, I asked what he meant by that. Marlon explained that Dada threw his stuff out the window, and he was worried that it would keep the birds awake since it always kept him awake. Oh, my God. When it came to the court case, Keith's lawyer asked me to be one of the people who would attest to Keith's good character. This would have been fine, but then he asked me to say I'd never seen the silver necklace, which of course I couldn't say. Not only had I seen it, but I had also even used the silver straw on it with Keith, Anita, Mick, Woody, and others on various occasions. So she was partaking with the coke too. In fact, there were even publicity photographs of Keith wearing the necklace, which I'm surprised police didn't discover. The lawyer threatened to subpoena me when I said I would say I had never seen it. Fine, I said, subpoena me, and I'll tell the truth about the necklace. I refuse to perjure myself. I didn't appear in court, but others did. I suspect they committed perjury. However, I did attend the court case in Aylesbury in October. I'm glad I didn't have to appear, as it would have been terrifying to lie in front of many barristers and judges, all in their robes and wigs. Over there those judges wear wigs and robes. This was the first time I'd ever attended anything like that. So so she had quite an experience with that. And so she had to babysit the Rolling Stones, just like, Skynyrd. That sound familiar, doesn't it, Craig? Then Craig and I, we were talking about something I didn't know was Greg got divorced in 2014. I got divorced in 2013. I thought Craig had been divorced a long time. And so that's kind of like how we both ended up getting on Facebook. So, right, like you weren't on social media at any time, Craig.
No, I wasn't on
It,
social media hardly at all. And then Chad's the one that got me look on FakeBook. I didn't want to get on it, and he goes, "Man, they got all kind of Skynyrd fan club sites on there, and they're all confused about the original band." He said, "You ought to get on there and kind of straighten some people out. You know, there's a lot of confusion going on." So I got on there, and I just started looking at some of the fan club sites, and I would comment, and they would, and all these guys. It was the one guy that I don't know if we should mention his name. The one we actually got thrown off or something.
yeah.
He was one of them, and he was running this fan club site, and everything I would say, he would say I was full of shit. He didn't know who I was, you know. So I just got tired of the bullshit. So then I just ignored all those fan club sites, and I found it amusing over on FakeBook messing with fat people and cigarette suckers. So I started doing that for a while, and then I got back over on the, answering a whole bunch of Skynyrd questions, and then I got involved in doing all this. But yeah, well, I was married. I wasn't on Facebook.
No, yeah, me either. And most people, they don't. If they're married, they don't really go on Facebook that much, because you can get away with doing like Craig. Ain't no way he could ever get away with that fat shaming with a wife. She'd be like, you ain't doing that no more.
Well, my wife wasn't fat though. That was not a problem.
Well, it's still though. She don't want it. She don't want to have to go face her friends and go.
Well,
Why's your husband always?
stuff.
She probably got some fat friends.
Back then, I don't know. Not many of us were on Facebook. I don't know.
No,
she wasn't on there either.
And you got a letter from some guy. Read that letter, Craig. That's a great letter that you read.
Oh yeah, it says, Craig. Just a quick note to let you know your fat jokes hit home for some of us folks, me included. I admit I turned into quite a fat fucker myself. I was 299 beginning in April, and I just weighed in at 270 this morning. My ultimate goal is 200. I have back issues and have been using that as an excuse for a long time. No more excuses. Intermittent fasting and watching the calories, and the weight is coming off. Thanks for your point. Thanks for your pointing out the ills of obesity. Battling one day at a time. Stay stoned, Scott. Yeah. So see there, we're some people are trying to better themselves, but some people just don't want to, and that's up to you. Whatever you want to do, it's your life.
Yes, well, there's another person that you helped.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. That's 13.
Yeah, that's because but it's going to be probably turning around here pretty soon. When they start trying to starve everybody to death. Hey, our governor did something really cool. I heard from a friend of mine said that he put a ban on printed meat in Florida, any kind of artificial meat. DeSantis said you can't do that in Florida. So
there seems to be all kind of artificial food out there. Watermelons, bananas, apple. Strawberries. All kind of weird stuff.
Yeah, I know. They're feeding you a bunch of garbage
and dying. They're dying. Potatoes. They're taking regular potatoes and dyeing them red because they sell for more money.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's rude.
It's absolutely insane.
How are they getting away with it? Who's the FDA?
Well, the government's, letting them get
Yeah.
away with it. The government's so damn corrupt, it's not funny. You keep voting for old Joe.
Yeah, he wasn't looking too good the other night though, but I think they did that on purpose. I believe that was
Yeah.
all set up. Because they were accommodating Trump too much. They were rolled out the red carpet for him on that one, and they wanted old Joe to flounder. But we'll find out what's going on here in the next few weeks. There's going to be something.
Everything's everything's staged. Everything's just a big fake.
It's a
Yeah,
big
it's
lie. Everything's a
just-
big lie.
It is. Everything's crazy.
But as long as I keep getting my checks, then I ain't going to complain about it. As soon as they start messing with everybody's checks, then that's when you're going to have a problem. And some old people are going to be losing it. And then another thing was people were asking about Ed King's book and when's it going to come out? And so I sent Sharon King a text, and she was nice enough to call me, and we talked about a lot of stuff, bunch of stuff that really didn't even have to do with the book. But I did talk to her about the book. And she is just busy right now with something else, some kind of a project she's been working on. And she's kind of like just kind of stuck it on the back burner for a little while, just kind of not messing with it real hard. But she said it's coming out. So don't think it ain't coming out. It's going to happen. She's almost got it done. And she didn't give me an official statement or anything, but just based on what we talked about, you can be rest assured it's going to be published, and it's going to be a good one. I was talking to her about Ed, and she said that Ed had a big following of James Burton. You familiar with James Burton, Craig?
Heard the name. I can't.
Yeah, he had affiliations with Rick Nelson, Elvis Presley, Everly Brothers, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, and he's kind of where Ed got that chicken picking from. Was that James Burton? Yeah, it's pretty cool. How a lot of how Ed, he was something else. I had some other stuff written down that had to do with he was in a band called, before the Strawberry Alarm Clock, called The Sixpence, THEE Sixpence, and they redid a song called Fortune Teller, and I never even knew that. So you guys want to look up The Sixpence on YouTube and put in Fortune Teller. That's early Strawberry Alarm Clock with Ed King, and they had a few songs that they did in there. And
God, he must have only been 15 years old.
Yeah, and the way they found him, they heard that Ed was a good guitar player, and they went over to his house and they saw him through the window screwing around with his bass. And he invited them in the house, and they said they were just thrilled because, Ed, he could read music, He just acted like he couldn't. He was very knowledgeable, from what I understand, with organization of music, and they just were very astounded with his work ethic, and that's why they wanted him for Strawberry Alarm Clock. But like I said, to start off, it was The Sixpence. And we talked a little bit about that. So that was pretty cool.
Talking about Ed King saying he couldn't read music and he really could read music. Have you heard that Stevie Wonder really can see?
Yeah, I heard that. They got him on some video
Yeah, he really
of him
can see.
Him getting busted with it. That's crazy. That's a pretty good stick.
He
right
met
there,
somebody in the elevator and looked him right in the eye and said, "Hey, man, what's going on?"
What a freaking
What a
scam.
what a scam.
It's not against the law.
That's hilarious.
It's not
Been
against the
faking
law.
being blind since he was 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
Faking,
I guess
it's
there's a lot of
hilarious.
perks with it, you know. There's a lot of perks.
Yeah. Women running around naked in front of him. Didn't know he could see. Look at here, Stevie.
Kind of makes you wish that you thought of that yourself, you know.
That's hilarious. Look
I
at here,
saw,
Stevie. I bet you wish you could see, huh?
there's a lot of posts when they see Stevie Wonder and they'll say, yeah, that lion SOB, he can see. And a couple of, I think it was old John Reinheimer said, y'all leave Stevie alone. That lion sack. Friggin', I don't know. Maybe he's legally blind. Maybe he can really see a little bit or something, but maybe it's not good.
Yeah.
Because I swear I saw him with his glasses off one time and his eyes were all jacked up. You know? Yeah, I swear.
Some people can do that. Some people can, mess with their eyes like that, make them look every which way.
Well, we kind of don't believe anything anymore when it comes to anything, Craig.
I don't believe nothing anymore. Oh my God.
I'm like ready to start eating weeds out of the grass outside and stuff because I don't trust these supermarkets. And people are such sheep. It's like I was sitting in there because I was sitting in Aldi's grocery store parking lot, and I just didn't feel like going in there, and it was raining a little bit, and these people were like running around in the rain trying to get their quarter out of their buggy. Like, all you do is take a quarter and you can make somebody do anything you want with over a quarter. They're rounding up buggies out of the parking lot like crazy over a quarter.
I don't understand what the quarter. I don't do Aldi, so.
Well, at Aldi's, they not like if you go to Publix or like in Florida, we got Publix and they got the people that work there have to go out in the parking lot and gather up all the buggies and bring them up and put them back in the store. Well, at Aldi's, they have a quarter. If you put a quarter in the slot, you get your buggy, and then if you return it, you get your quarter back.
Oh, okay.
So there's not one buggy out in that parking lot either. I mean, that's the smartest idea anybody ever came up with, over a quarter. And there's people fighting over the quarter off of that buggy too. Like, I mean, if like somebody saw a cart that had a quarter in it, it wasn't plugged in, and they was trying, this is my cart. I got it. I was here first. Over a stinking quarter.
Oh God, that's funny.
Yeah, that just made me realize how brainwashed these people are. I mean, it's a great idea. Whoever thought of it needs to be really commended. I mean, that was genius. That's Germans, that's Germans. That's Germans for you. Uns wie will put a quarter in the cart, and they will round them up themselves. So. But we can go over these comments and questions there, Craig, and then if you got anything else, you got anything you want to talk about as far as donations or any items?
I had a damn hornet bite me right in the damn eye right there, forehead, and this eye here is all about halfway.
Oh, I thought that was. I thought that was
side of my face is itching, so I ain't really.
I thought that was just some indica.
No, and hornet bit me right on up above the eye. I just looked in the mirror. My whole.
I hate when that happens.
Right in front of my eye, there's a big swollen spot. You can't see it.
That's like those yellow jackets. When I had my place up there in the mountains, those yellow jackets, they go right for your eyes. It's almost like they know that if you get blinded, you'll fall down and they can eat you alive. Those yellow jackets, they're rough, man. All right.
In case anybody didn't know, that's Sally up there, Allie.
Yeah.
their picture there.
No, she was so happy to see those videos, your films.
Yeah, her with the bikini on.
Yeah, she said that she was not engaged with Dean at the time. She thought she was, but those were early pictures because of her hairstyle. She said that she could tell that was like one of the first trips that she made over to Florida or to to the States. And but she was so excited. I mean, imagine, you're engaged to a guy and he dies in a plane crash, and there's some video of you and him that you didn't even know existed, and you got in touch with your old Stone Roadie friend that just happened to have some video footage of you with your lost fiance. That's pretty cool story.
Yeah, I might have to send her a copy of my films.
Yeah, she would get a kick out of that, Craig. Yeah. She really would. Yeah,
I'll send her a copy with it or watermarked.
Yeah, I'll give her your address, or I'll give you her address.
Yeah, and, I'll send them to her.
You can send it to her. She'd really appreciate that. Yeah, and so that was another thing I wanted to mention. But all right, we can just jump into some questions and comments here. Most of them are about the Sally Arnold podcast, which we are going to have her back in a couple weeks. She would have come back on right away, but I actually wanted to read through her book some more so I could come up with some more questions that everybody might like. I was trying to narrow down on some things, that like normal people that haven't been around a lot of people that, are rock stars and stuff. There's things about them that people like to know, whereas she, like I was asking her, hanging around with Mick at his house, that's kind of crazy, I mean, that old crazy Kimmy had a comment in here about that which I'm going to read, and oh my God, she's losing it. Kimmy, man, your mind's in the gutter, girl. You're freaking losing it. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump off here. Old Brian Gibbons, he's our buddy that lost, what was it, Craig? How many pounds?
150 plus, yeah.
150 pounds.
Plus. Yeah, he said he quit counting it.
Yeah, what a great guest he was, too. He's another one. He says, Sally was great. I want her book, which, if you just were to just go on Amazon, you could get her book, or you could go to her website, rockandrollnanny.co.uk, I believe is how you get there. But if you all you got to do is type in Rock and Roll Nanny, and you'll find her website, and then you can look on her website, and there's actually a button that you can click on if you want her book. And she's got some really cool stuff on her website too. So check that website out. And then before we have her back on, you guys, I'll let you know when we were thinking about doing it, and you can put some questions in the comments, and I'll ask her any questions that you might have, and I'm sure she'll be happy. And you've seen what she wrote in that book about Keith Richards. I mean, it's kind of like a tell-all book here. You guys are really, she's cool. She don't mind talking. I imagine maybe Keith Richards probably knows she wrote that in the book, probably don't care, or whatever, but she's friends with all of them. So many more questions for Sally. So yeah, you guys, Sally Arnold, really something, and stay tuned for the next one, and go get her book and study up and ask some questions.
And then we got my first wife, Susan, and Chad, that people have been wanting to know if she's going to come back on, because we had kind of a bad connection with her.
Yeah.
And Chad's wife, Lisa, they've released her from the hospital 3 times. She's trying to get an operation, and they're fiddle-faddling around, and so they're kind of tied up with that right now. So it's going to be probably a few weeks before Susan and Chad will be back on. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, prayers for Lisa, because she's kind of going through some stuff. I don't think she's in, I mean, she could be in some danger. I don't know
Yeah,
too
that's
much.
a pretty serious operation.
Yeah.
She's got a pretty good sized tumor in her, not tumor, cyst in her stomach, and a cyst isn't like a tumor. A tumor's like solid; they can just pick it up and pull it out. The cyst is
Right.
kind of like skin full of liquid, and if that thing busts inside of her, it's full of poison, and that's not good.
Yeah, they got to
Not at all.
find somebody that knows what they're doing, and
Well,
that's the
that's a
process.
team. It's
Yeah.
actually a team. Yeah.
Yeah. So
My niece had
prayers.
that. It took three specialists to get it out of her without busting it. And they said, yeah, if I had busted inside of her, it wouldn't have been good.
Man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, let's have some prayers out for Craig's son, Chad's wife, Lisa. She's a really nice, sweet girl too. Lisa is a sweetheart.
yeah, Tanner's mother.
Yeah, she's so cool, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
tell
she's
you,
real cool.
she's so laid back, and she just goes with the flow with everything, and she's don't get excited. But I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be on her bad side because those are the kind of people right there you don't want to piss them off. But she's a sweetheart, and I always enjoy seeing those guys. A guy named, I think his name's Palo Vincent. It's his birthday today, Craig, and he wants you to play Happy Birthday. He wants you to play Happy Birthday on the kazoo. Dang, that was pretty good, man. Happy birthday there, Vincent. Hope it's a good one, man. Go eat some cheesecake. Go eat some cheesecake and then go on an intermittent fast after you eat it for a few days. Because it does suck to be fat.
Oh, it sucks to be fat. Yeah.
Nothing tastes as
And
good
me
as
and Griff
skinny
can both
Bill.
say that. I was fatter than Griff, but
yeah, I never topped out over 200. I've never been over 200, but
yeah, he was never obese. I was actually obese.
But I don't know, man. I might fall off the wagon and go get a pizza tomorrow. I'm starting to feel a little like wanting a nice pizza, man. I was talking to Sharon King, and she had got a pizza. And she goes, I just got a pizza. And I was like, man, that sounds good. I love a good pizza. A lot of people don't like Pizza Hut pizza, but I like thin and crispy Pizza Hut. I don't like that.
I like the thin crust pizza.
Yeah, I don't like that old thick crust stuff. That's
the Chicago style. No,
too much more calories in it. It's
all that bread. Ugh.
Yeah. Somebody I saw on Facebook, they've got all these dietitian experts. They say if you freeze your bread before you eat it, it does a chemical change in it, and it's not as fattening.
Oh, really? I freeze all my bread. As soon as I get bread, I put it in the freezer.
I can tell. I can tell, Craig.
I do, yeah. No, I do.
So,
and then I pull out, I toast all my bread. If I eat bread, I toast it.
Yeah, it's almost like half as fattening as it would be.
Chris, it does something to the sugar. It cooks the sugar.
Yeah, it does something to the sugar. It doesn't absorb in your. Yeah, I don't know why. So I'm gonna go get some bread and put it in the freezer. I freeze my pizza. I got leftover pizza. I freeze the pizza. So, cousin Figel says triple A on the interview. Can't wait to hear the story of Lay Down Sally, which is in the book. I won't read that. I will let you guys go get a copy of the book and read that for yourself. But we can ask her that when she's already told me the story, and it's just I mean, that song almost sounds like, he was wanting him a little Sally Arnold, but she said it wasn't like that. So who knows?
Well, you can see in my video, she looked really good.
Yeah, she did
in
look
that, in
good.
that bikini.
Yeah, she had a great figure.
Yeah,
But-
she was like,
but all the women, that's like this guy in here. He made a comment about women back in the 70s. Well, we'll get to that. But Kent Griffith says, nice to see Craig's footage of Alan's boat and Dean's parents' boat. What you observed was Alan trying to be legal by going and getting that life jacket. So I guess, yeah, for ever how many people you have in the boat, you're supposed to have a life jacket. They don't have to have it on, but you have to, if you got 6 people in the boat, you got to have 6 life jackets.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what that was.
And so
about,
Alan must have been, a pretty conscientious guy, or either somebody told him he better go get that. That's probably Dean.
Probably Dean, because
Yeah.
Dean was the boater,
Yeah, he probably said, yeah, we don't want to get
They
pulled
probably
over.
Dean said, "Man, let's just go over to my parents' boat and get a life jacket so we're safe." Because we probably had drugs on the boat.
Yeah.
But
Back then they'd let you dump your beer out in the water and you could leave. Now they haul your ass to jail.
But they wouldn't let you dump your Coke overboard, no.
No, they take that from you and tell you that if they see you with it again, you're going to jail. Then they'll go snort it. Yeah, those crooked cops. We're going to confiscate this and we're going to let you go this time. But if we see you again, we might let you go again, but we don't know yet.
I had a cop confiscate a whole briefcase full of drugs and paraphernalia and stuff. Just
All these
he just took it, did let me go and took my shit so he could keep it.
All these big drug dealers would carry around a bag of 50 grand, and they'd have it set up where they could see, they had 30 grand, 20 grand bundle, 30 grand bundle, 50 grand, they knew what they had, and they just start handing it to the cop until he said, okay, you can go. And you imagine a cop getting handed 30 grand of cash money. What would you do? I think, a lot of them would let them go. I don't know. Didn't you guys weren't you that guy, Craig, that handed them the money when you got caught?
No, I never did that. I was always thought I'd get caught for bribery or something. Attempted bribery or something like that.
But you never got caught with any drugs.
No, never did.
That's amazing in itself, right there.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
I don't know. I smoked pot every second I was ever driving. I was always smoking pot.
And that reminds me,
I got DUIs and I never did get caught with any drugs. I don't.
That reminds me, we were
one time in my coupe. I had a bag of weed and I stuck it up under the seat, and it was a kind of a little hole in the seat of that 32 Plymouth. And I took that bag of weed and stuffed it in that hole. And then after when I got out of jail, I couldn't find out. Damn it, they found that weed. And it was like years later, I took that seed out and I looked up under there and there was that bag of pot up into that. It moved around up in that seat and I found that pot.
Yeah, so it's just like that. It's just like that tackle box. As long as it's still there, you don't have to worry about it as long as you still have it.
I'll find it. I'm fixing to start cleaning here.
But you remember when you and I were in Cleveland? I forget where we were going, but you had the whole car full of smoke, and you cracked open the sunroof, and I turned around, I saw this cop coming. I go, Craig, man, and you were doing probably freaking 90 at least. And I just knew that cop was going to pull us. I go, Craig, there's a cop coming. Oh, really? And then he just goes flying around us, and I was like, and you were like, oh, wow. I thought that was it. I thought you and I were going to jail on that one, man. That was close, but you must have some kind of luck with the drugs or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
And you're even still alive and everything. So
No, I ain't never been busted for drugs.
Yeah, so yeah, so those yeah, Kent Griffith, yeah, good observation about Alan, and probably Dean trying to keep everybody legal on the boat. Let me see
I
here.
went to jail with 6 Quaaludes in my pocket, and they never found them. And I remember I forgot they were in my pocket, and when I got into jail, I was passing Quaaludes around to people in jail. 'Cause I
Well,
told my I
I
told
knew
my
these
buddy to get
people.
me out. I had a bunch of money with me. I told my buddy just to get me out, so I went to jail, and I knew I wasn't going to be in there long, so I was passing Quaaludes
Yeah,
out.
Quaaludes weren't good to have back then if you got
Oh
caught
God,
with those.
that was
Yeah.
God, years
The
ago.
Schedule 2 drug, and if you looked like you were trying to sell them, then you really were in trouble.
Oh my God, we're talking 50 years ago.
And I don't know why they're still not around,
$50.
because if they were, there'd be more people on those than anything, I think. Those Quaaludes, they were
Oh,
popular.
those were the shit. Those are the AS soapers. Oh boy,
Yeah,
those
you had to build
orange
up to
soapers.
be, some people would take two. Like you had to build up to take two, and you're crazy if you could take two. Didn't you know somebody took four or something?
What?
Quaaludes. You told me somebody
Oh,
took,
I don't know.
yeah.
Probably.
Or maybe it was Alan that he was taking some something. I mean, like Cheech and Chong, when he accidentally gave Cheech the like a whole bunch of freaking speed, and he goes, "Did you take it?"
Oh,
He goes,
oh,
"Yeah, I
don't
took
eat
it."
those. Don't eat those.
Yeah, don't eat those, man. He goes, "Why not?" He goes, "Oh, wow, did you eat those?" And he said, "Yeah." He goes, "That's the most speed I've ever seen anybody take." Something like that. I don't know. I have to
I
dig
think it
that
was
up.
acid.
Was it acid?
I think it
Yeah.
was acid. Oh, I
He's
said,
the
no.
one who gave it to him, and then he's like, "Oh, wow, man." And then in real life, he sells bongs and gets thrown in jail, and then he meets that Wolf of Wall Street, who spent time, that movie
Oh
Wolf of
yeah,
Wall.
yeah. He actually did. That's where the guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he spent a year in the cell with that guy, or 9 months or something. They were in there together, and
Yeah.
they became big buddies.
Yeah. I was trying to think of that other drug we used to take. It was Placidills. They had the green ones
Oh
and the
yeah, the
red
green
ones.
and the red ones, and you put them in
Yeah,
the freezer.
you take a pin and stick it in the green one and then eat it.
It
Oh boy,
kicked in quicker.
those green ones were good, boy.
Yeah, and then you could put the green one in the freezer and cut it in half.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you cut it in half and put it in the freezer. Then you cut it in half, and then you took one half, and then you waited. This somebody told me, and then and then you take the other half about 30 minutes later, and it's supposed to be maximum release that way. But yeah, it's some crazy shit. Let me see here. Abby Road says she could listen to Sally for hours. And then Crazy Kimmy says that Sally needs her own podcast, which she could do that. I wonder, I got to ask her if she's still friends with all those guys, Rolling Stones and the Who and all everybody. She knew everybody. Um, Laura Johnson says, Craig, I didn't like going through having to wait getting your computer fixed. Don't do that again.
Yeah, don't worry, I won't.
Yeah, I remember Craig called me and he goes, "Hey man, there ain't gonna be no podcast today." And I'm like, "What? Somebody hacked my computer."
Yeah, I
And I'm
couldn't
like,
turn
"Oh
it on.
wow."
Yeah.
Yeah, or the
Yeah, as
guy
long as I
wasn't.
left it off unplugged, it was all right. As soon as I plugged it in and turned it on, it was like my computer. They had all my thing, and it was my computer be going, "Hey, looky here, he's got me on."
Yeah,
So
oh yeah.
I had to just leave it all unplugged, until I took it and got it wiped out.
Somebody was telling me there's a show out there where this guy, he hacks the hackers, and he can, like try to steal his shit, and he jumps back and steals their shit, and he starts loading shit up in their computer and laughing at them, and they can't shut it off. Yeah, I don't know what that show is, but somebody told me about that. I'd like to watch that show and find out, because that guy gets revenge on all of them. That's
Okay, that was funny. The guy, I saw my mouse was wandering all over my computer screen, and I wasn't touching it. It was going through all my folders, and I'm going.
Yeah.
I had the guy's number. I said, "You've got my computer. You're going through my computer." He goes, "You either I'm going to make you famous on social media. How would you like me to make you famous on social media?" I said, "Yeah, man, that'd be cool." Could you do that? I'd be cool. I've been trying to do that.
And in the meantime, he's downloading malware in your computer. So it slows it down, and you can't do anything, and he's pulling stuff out of your files.
You either do what I tell you, or I will have the police come and lock you up.
Yeah, he's looking for that one file that says passwords, and then has all your accounts in there and shit. And
it was funny.
Yeah, and guys.
Yeah, he had me connected to child porn and gambling, and he was.
A lot of times they like to say they're the IRS, and
it was crazy. Yeah,
I had the Postmaster General called me on the phone one time, and I said, "Yeah, whatever," and I hung up on her. Right, and then she called me back 2 days later and goes, "Don't hang up," and I hung up again. And she goes, "If you hang up on me this time," she said, "I'm going to have an officer at your house." I said, "Go ahead." I said, "This is bullshit," right? And then I got a certified letter with her name and number on it, and it said to call her immediately. And I was like, "Oh, shit." And I called her up, and she was laughing. She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "They had a postal worker stole my credit card out of the mail." And
wow.
Yeah, and they were filing charges against a postal worker. That was just my luck. But I had to work with the post office for, God almighty, it seemed like 2 years dealing with that crap. That was okay. Dave the Disciple says it's great to have interviews to look back on the band members. They were great interviewers. But the stories from the people that hung around them are really great too. So, that's, I never really got to hang around and talk to any of the band members, so I wouldn't know what that's like. The only person I ever came close to talking to or anything, that was Leslie Hawkins, which she was, she's an original. So I got lucky with that. And I got to meet Gary. And when I was a kid, I think it was either Dean or Alan, but I know it was Ed King. But I didn't remember. I was only like 13, so.
Yeah, we've tried to get people that actually knew the band and actually had association with the band, like Kathy Ghazi. That's like initially why we had her on. I thought that would be interesting to have somebody like her on that that met Gene, and then they had the connection with Alan and Gene, and
But she got the phone number off the real estate sign off the album. Yeah,
this one here.
Yeah, that's how she got the number, and then I guess Lynyrd Skynyrd answered, and then he goes, "Gene, here you go. This girl wants to talk to you." And then he goes, Gene, I can hear him now. "You want to go meet Alan? Come on over right now. I'll take you over to Alan's house." And then they were on their way over there, and then they went by the house, and Alan's car wasn't there. And she goes, "Darn, I'm not gonna be able to see Alan." And then they turned around and started going the other way, and then some guy with hippie hair come flying by 90 miles an hour, and Gene goes, "There he is. He's going his way home." And so that's how she met. I remember that story. That's a great story, how Kathy met Alan. I paid attention, Kathy. I was paying attention to that.
One of the names that was sent in for the Bong that I kind of like,
Oh, really?
El Kabong.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
that was,
this one's all done, man, ready to go.
yeah, I
It's
thought
all
that
been
was, there's every time I see one that somebody writes and I like it, I've been writing them down about
El Kabong. Huh?
El Kabong. Yeah.
Like Al Capone, but El
El
Kabong.
Kabong, yeah. El Kabong. That's fair. That used because it's kind of funny because one of my old handles on the CB radio was Quick Draw McGraw, El Kabong. They were sidekicks, weren't they? El Kabong and
Oh,
Quick Draw
there was an El Kabong?
El Kabong. You don't remember El
No, I
Kabong?
didn't know what El Kabong was.
That's a cartoon with the
Oh, I
horse
didn't.
that would go around with a guitar. He would go around with the guitar, and he was a superhero, and he would go around with the guitar, and he would go up to, when he was saving somebody, he would go up to him and hit him over the head with the guitar and go, Kabong, El Kabong. That was his name, El Kabong.
Yeah, that's a pretty catchy, man. That's pretty
That's
catchy.
funny, El Kabong, yeah.
You got to send that back so I can fix it, and then I'll send you this one.
Oh, I'm still using it.
Yeah, but it's leaking.
Somebody said a good name for this one would be Leaky.
Yeah, that could be. We could put that. Yeah, leaky.
I mean, there's been a couple of good names I've heard.
Well, when Craig's ready to pick the name, then he'll, whoever wins it, he'll send that bong out and with a letter of authenticity.
I haven't sent it back yet. Heck, I got to send it back and you got to fix it. So it'll be,
Yeah,
So
that won't take long. I've already got.
How do you
fix
like
for
the
it.
name El Kabong there, buddy?
Yeah, I got to disassemble it, and then I got to waterproof the inside and re-glue the stem back in. And speaking of that, and I'll go ahead and there's a video, Craig, that I'm going to show, and I lit this thing up here at this Hell House Fatwood. I lit this up so you could hear Freebird coming out of smoke. And
Yeah, it's so full of resin. As you can see, it's already lighting up. Now, it takes a minute to get it going. I hope I don't set off the smoke alarm in my house here. So it takes a minute to get going. And there it's going. And now we just want to see. There it is. There it is. It's coming out. I'll be darned. Yep. I mean, it came out quick. That's crazy.
I just looked as another name was Budmeiser.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one.
Hey, where's Budmeiser?
El Kabong and Budmeiser. That's great. That's great. Those sound like winter. Where are you getting these from? Because I didn't see them in the comments.
Oh, those come to the Stoned Roadie at gmail.com.
Yeah, so they're doing what they're told.
Yeah, Stoned Roadie. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of names. Yeah.
Okay. Well, send your comments.
Those are just two that just kind of caught my eye. Yeah.
Do you have their names written down? Who had them? You got their names?
No, they're all in that list. I'll find them.
Okay. Well, as long as you keeping track of that, you got a lot on your plate, man.
Yeah.
You got like about 10 winners on your plate.
Oh, yeah. It's more than that. There's like 14 or so.
Is there? Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to go. I got to go to FedEx and get a bunch of boxes because since usually I can send stuff out in a manila envelope, but since we're giving these kazoos away, just that I can't put them in an envelope.
Yeah, they'll get
so
smashed.
I got to put those in a box. So,
yeah, which is going to make the postage a little more. But,
it's $8 or something. It takes it from about.
But
it takes it from 6 to 9 or 8 or something.
But we love our.
Ain't gonna break the bank.
We love our subscribers, so we appreciate because there's so many people donating too, man. It's like amazing, these guys. I mean, you got all that money now you can give to the survivors that you waiting on.
Yeah, there's 6280 or 6285. Yeah, with the last donation that.
Yeah, and
Lori Shoemaker sent in $50. Yeah. See,
yeah,
I'm not all brain dead. I can remember.
yeah. So and all in all, I don't know how much money it is total, but it's better than nothing. That's for sure. And those guys, they sure appreciate it too. I mean, you've had a lot of stuff happen. Mark Frank, he, of course, he's got stroke issues, and then he's, I think, in an assisted living now. And then Gene's still bumping along. He's still quite the character, but I will tell you, it was funny when we went out fishing in that boat, and there was no dock to get into the boat, and he jumped on the front of the boat off the bank, and he looked like a baby seal trying to get up or something, man. He was flopping around on the front of the boat, and he goes, "God dang it, Griff. Why'd you have to bring me over here? Why couldn't you go somewhere there's a dock?" And I was like, "There ain't no dock," and he's flopping around on that damn boat. And finally he got on his feet and he went, "Son of a bitch." And then he wasn't looking forward to getting out of the boat either. Whenever he was easier getting out, but yeah, because that lake was, was no dock there. It was just right off into it was a good boat ramp, but there was no dock there. So yeah, okay, let's get back into these questions here. Oh, here we go with Crazy Kimmy. Kimmy, man, your mind's going up in the gutter. She says, "Excuse me," talking about Sally. "Excuse me for insulting you, Sally." That comment I made, which I didn't see the comment, but she said, "That comment I made about you and Mick. I'd love to hear how Mick is in bed. Woo, who wouldn't? Just being honest, all we are is dust in the wind anyway."
Is she insinuating that Sally hooked up with Mick?
Yeah, she's insinuating. She's insinuating that Sally was, was doing something with Mick, which no,
shame
Sally.
on you, Sid.
Shame on you, Sally.
Kimmy.
Kimmy. Sally wasn't doing anything like that. Oh, okay. But that was cool though, talking about living with Mick, and like going around and, they're cooking in the kitchen together, and that's crazy. He's kind of a private guy, and, that's really nice of her to come on and tell about it. Jeff wants to know, what is of the age difference was there between Sally and the band members? She was younger, right?
No, we're all about
the same. Yeah.
Yeah. We're all.
Well, what's crazy? How young she was. When she was running.
When she man, yeah, I just started to be a roadie at 22, and she was already the manager of the Who.
Can you imagine how young she was, and then she's managing the Who and the Rolling Stones and. And Skynyrd?
She was managing the Who before I became a roadie at 22.
Yeah, she must have, really know what she was doing. She had great clout because, I think, what was it, Norwood or whatever, that she was,
the college,
that nursing or secretarial, whatever it was that she was affiliated with. And they're the ones who told Mick, "This is the lady you need right here." And then he went and searched for her. He kept calling her, and she was like, acting like he was bugging her. And she was like, "No, I don't want to do it," And then that Frenchman who she was living with, she got rid of him because he had too much drama.
Somehow she got with the upper class of people because the English,
they loved her
class, like Lady Lambton. That's pretty much almost royalty, so when you go to the school she went to, that's just under Lady
Right.
Hampton, so the Greenwich School or whatever she went to. Yeah, that's
And then
royal.
Lady Diana, they were like big buddies.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
they were-
yeah. And
oh,
yeah, she
and
did
then
all
she
kinds
and
of
then
stuff
she,
for the royal family, yeah.
and then she comes on the Stone Roadie show. How cool is that?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. How about that? Yeah.
we're not worthy.
Who'd have thunk,
Yeah, we're not worthy, man.
I'm not worthy. We're not worthy.
We're just not worthy. Mike Neighbors tells you, Craig, be careful what you click on.
Yeah, really.
You
I'm
don't-
totally aware of that. I was just got up one morning, I was stoned and wasn't paying attention. That's what sometimes that waking and baking will get you,
yeah. Well, you learned your lesson from that. But
Oh, I've learned it before. I just forgot about it,
Yeah,
That's what brain damage will do to you,
I just hope I don't have to relearn it because it happened to me one time
Oh,
too.
that's a bitch.
Yeah, I was able to shut it down though. I started. He was downloading all that malware, and how he got in is I thought he was part of the printer company that I thought he was an IBM employee, and he was lying. And yeah, he got me. That's why I don't have printers anymore because they're always breaking, and you set them to your computer, and it doesn't recognize it. And so I just like to hell with it. I'm not going to have one.
I'm lucky. I have the guy that fixes my computer is right across the street from where I met the band at the Holiday Inn in Gilchrist.
Oh, really?
He's right across the street. Yeah, yeah. He's a IBM genius, and I'm lucky to have him. Yeah.
He's the one who made your computer real fast for your
Oh yeah.
for your
Yeah,
simulator.
he said it was going to take mostly all night to do my computer, and he called me back in a couple hours. He goes, "Man, your computer's so damn fast, it's done."
Which was good because we had Sally the next day, early in the morning. So
But to tell you how big a flight simulator file is, he had my computer done in less than 4 hours, and it took about 14 hours to download the file for Flight Simulator.
Man, yeah, you gotta have. That's one of those computers you could trade stocks on.
It took 14 hours to download the software for Simulator.
Well, that's like I sent away for I don't know what I did with it. Yeah, I got a backup drive that's got like I think it's like 10 terabytes or something. Because all these podcasts, man, they're eating up a lot of space in my computer.
Oh, yeah.
And and I've got all kinds of like movies and things from the Space Center where I used to work. And like one of these days I'll break some of those out if anybody's interested in seeing them. It's some behind the scenes stuff that, when we worked on the shuttle.
Well, you don't have none of the films from the first moon launching, do you? They seem to have lost them all.
Yeah, I don't have any of those on me, but nobody else
lost
does
all
either.
their files for the first moon launching.
That might be because they never existed.
It's awfully strange. They lost every single one. There's no evidence of any files of the first moon launch.
Yeah, that's very suspicious.
That's kind of weird.
Ken Johnson says he's seen all the podcasts, but this was his favorite, the Sally Arnold, that podcast. So yeah,
she's the only woman we've had on besides Kathy Godsey as a guest,
and your ex and your first wife.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all the comments we got there, Craig. So,
yeah, I went to a party last night.
Yeah, a little burned out, a little sativa.
I
indica.
just had a couple of drinks, not too many, but it makes me feel
Well, but it was only like across the street, wasn't it?
Yeah, a couple miles away. Yeah.
Well, you still had to drive. You could have hit your
Yeah.
own mailbox. Did you ever? What happened with that? Did you get it fixed?
Oh yeah. Well, it's not
Well-
fixed yet. I just lady brought me. I still got my spare mailbox up. I haven't fixed it yet.
No, why fix it? Somebody else is going to hit it again.
I still got to order the parts. So
You're the only mailbox that gets hit, and it's not like it's sticking out any farther than the others.
Yeah, both of them have been hit. Oh, here we go. Oh, all right. Well, it's another episode of the we done? Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
All right. Let's here get down, Wicker.
Yeah, I think we've been on here almost an hour and a half.
Really?
Man, it's been a while. I know we were on before we even started.
8:40. No, we've only been on an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's
We didn't
enough.
go on till about, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's already been to work. They're out in the car in the parking lot late now listening to the podcast. They're
All right.
They
Well,
didn't clock in time.
all righty. All right. Here we go. Make sure I got this thing right so I don't click on the wrong ones. Oh, there it is over there. All right. All right. This is another episode of the Stoned Roadie Show, and see you later, alligator, at the wild crocodile, and happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep token until then. Cut. That's a wrap.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep token until then.